Makes it 400,000 to go. Brian luckily gets out of the way. Nathan, though, with king jack of clubs.
Uh-oh. I think he may get all of Nathan's action.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today with this QR code and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
All right, here we go. 5 players remain. VRAB Zakarian, our chip leader with 18 million. James Anderson with 11 million. And that's what they're playing for. 674,000 for the first place prize. Blinds of 75, 150 with a big blind, Andy, of 150. And that has been doing well here tonight. 9-7 of hearts, and he'll make it 325 to go.
VRAB has been in control of this table so far.
800,000.
And with King Queen right behind, he is going to continue his trend of applying pressure on the shorter stacks by 3-betting.
Brian Altman, a 2-time WPT champion, goes out. Nathan, out of Michigan, living in San Antonio, goes away as well, as does James Anderson. Ben from Pennsylvania, originally from China, 38 years old, in the restaurant business.
2.6.
Oh boy, Ben going with the 4-bet of 9-7 suited up to 2.6.
There you go.
And that will put a stop to VRAB's dominance of this table.
Well, I love it.
I don't, but it worked.
Love it when it works. Now, Ben, he said someday to his wife, he said, someday I want to make a final table on the World Poker Tour. And she started laughing. She says, you'll never make it there. And lo and behold, he's doing it. So it's a great story. And now Brian Altman wakes up with a pair of aces.
$300.
He'll make it 300,000. He's a 2-time WPT champion. He's made a ton of money on the World Poker Tour. He is red hot on this circuit. James Anderson goes out. There's Ben. He's going to stick around with Queen 10. Ben Wang versus Brian Altman. Let's see what goes on here. 10-8-8.
Interesting flop here. It wouldn't shock me if Brian checks back whenever you get these low, medium paired boards. There it is. It does tend to favor the big blind as they're going to have way more trips than the open raiser.
They go check, check, jack on the turn.
Pretty good board for Ben, but he's still checking.
A lot of respect for Brian.
275.
They both want to keep the size of the pot down.
Ben certainly can't fold here with a pair and a gut shot and an overcard.
And that's just a call. Going to the river. The river card is a king.
Now I think that Brian will go for more value here.
1.1.
And he's going for lots of it. 1.1 into 1.3 and an instant fold from Ben Wang,
Wow.
who loses the minimum there after flopping 2 pair.
That was good defense by him. Brian Altman starting to get a little momentum. Okay, we have a raise by James Anderson with a pair of 6s. Into Brian, who wakes up with ace-king.
Now we saw Brian flat kings against VRAB earlier. Now with ace-king in the big blind, most players would 3-bet here. And yet Brian is just going to call, so playing a passive strategy pre-flop, even with his big hand so far. But that will leave him a little disguised going to this ace-king deuce flop, top 2 for Brian.
Now he's going to check, put his man in the ditch, put the leaves and twigs over it, and let the sucker fall in. And James is going to do that betting here.
Well, I imagine there's some temptation to raise in Brian's shoes. The problem is you're not the one that's supposed to have the really strong hands here. You generally 3-bet your aces, kings, and ace-king pre-flop, though it didn't happen this time. So Brian just calls and...
Just walking the dog a bit. James has to be alerted by that 5 on the turn. Then he's checking again. Top 2.
James will check back. Not going to try and turn his hand into a bluff here.
10 on the river.
$650.
Brian goes for about half pot here. And that is all James needs to see.
Good fold by him. Brian Altman taking that one down. Brian studied to be a pharmacist at Albany College back in the day. He's a high school wrestler, and he says he played a ton of poker online during the lockdown.
I was playing with him almost every day during that lockdown.
Yeah? Brian now in 3rd place with around 10. But V-Rab Zakarian out in front with 17 million. Quick fold by James and Bin folding ace-8. V-Rab going out.
$450.
Brian liking his position with just queen deuce makes it 450.
Hail Nathan Russler in the big blind. Currently our short stack, but by no means desperate. Has over 30 blinds entering this pot. He'll make the call with king 8. And a king 6-3 flop connects well for our big blind Nathan here. Brian, not much of a hand. We'll check over to Nathan.
Nathan is married with 2 kids. His wife Leanne is his rock. Very supportive, he says.
Ooh, I like that check very much from Nathan. Gives Brian a little bit of rope to hang himself.
7 on the turn. Brian not gonna bite. He's gonna check again.
And now it is time for Nathan to start betting. So 400,000 is the cost to see the river for Brian. I would be very surprised if he continues, and nope, he is going out. So the king 8 for Nathan Russler takes down that blind versus blind pot.
This is his first WPT cash for Nathan, and he's made 0 amount of money on the World Poker Tour, but this tournament will change things. But this time it's on Bin with king jack. Makes a raise. We got a whole bunch of folds now. James Anderson in the big blind with a 6-4. And he will stay involved, make the call. Flop is a king 5 deuce.
Bin with top pair, James with a gut shot.
Bin's gonna bet it, 225.
James getting a nice price to continue here. We'll see a turn.
And we will turn another 5.
And I would like to see James lead that card as the 5 connects with the big blind's range much more than the pre-flop raisers, but both check, and a 3 on the river will fill the gut shot for James. He essentially has the nuts here.
Unreal, what a card on the river. He can't believe it.
Big. He bets 1.5 million into 1.3.
Ah, for now you have a 6-4 there.
Yes, he does.
Called it. It's a good call. He called my hand.
James Anderson hitting the straight. Takes a huge one from Bin. He's the youngest player at the table, and let's take a look at his cards. Pair of kings. It's just beautiful for him tonight. And he has raised, gonna make it 300,000. Nathan Russler with ace-5 of hearts. We'll take a flop. James going out, taking a breather. Bin. will make the call as well.
3 ways to this flop.
Flop is a 10-3-3. King's way out in front.
Check.
Nice check from VRAB there. Offers some pot control in the event the big blind has a 3 and check raises. But also allows Nathan to make some bets with hands like these that are strictly bluffing. And I like this bluff from Nathan. If he gets check raised off his hand, he's not folding any real equity out.
Raise.
And VRAB does announce raise and makes it 1 million. So another really well and creatively played hand from VRAB. And a bluff from Nathan that has likely reached its conclusion.
Took a stab, didn't work out. Rubs the ear and moves on. VRAB taking that one in. Things going great for him right now. Says he's been playing live poker since he was 18 years old, and he is playing well here tonight.
When was that, last week?
He is 25 years old, out of Canada, born and raised in Toronto. And we move on to Brian Altman's hand.
300.
Brian going up to 300,000 with King Queen.
Bunch of folds. But VRAB with ace-4 diamonds will make the call.
So heads up between these two professionals.
Ace-4 versus king-queen. It's an ace-ace-king.
Check.
VRAB with a quick check, trying to trap Brian. And Brian too smart for that. He's gonna check it. 7 of diamonds on the turn.
And that is a flop that absolutely drills Brian as the pre-flop raiser, so I'm a little surprised that he checked back on the flop.
Check.
But it's gonna work out great for him to exercise pot control here. And VRAB, playing it slow, checks once more over to Brian, who again, surprisingly checks back on the turn, and so we get to this river, having checked down. VRAB
250.
gonna make a value bet, just a little blocker of 250. And Brian is a certainty to call. He is perhaps wondering whether there is some value in raising facing this tiny bet, but he has been very cautious so far tonight, so he's just gonna cut out a call here, and he will be very pleased to see how he played this hand once VRAB exposes his ace.
Absolutely, he lost a little pot, but it could have been a lot worse, so nice defensive play by Brian. VRAB, though, extends his chip lead.
There we see VRAB approaching 20 million in chips. James Anderson still in second. Brian in third. Ben and Nathan both hovering around 5 million.
And this time, Nathan with king-queen. He started out as the short stack, built his way up. He's had a run for his money tonight. Oh, kings again? They're getting passed around the table. This time, James Anderson with them. The Bond villain, thinking greed, perhaps. 875 total. And now Ben looks down at a pair of nines. This could be dangerous.
Yes, it could, Vince. Ben with a tough decision here. He's a little under 40 blinds facing this 3-bet. I think that 10s would be a clear shove and 8's a fold. And 9's the decision hand, apparently an all-in for Ben.
Yes.
We know that's gonna spell trouble.
Nathan gets out of the way. James with the auto call. With the kings, they turn him up. Ben Wang, the restaurant businessman, worked his way up from every job, dishwasher to owner to partner to poker player. Now on the ropes, he is well behind, hoping to hit a 9 on the flop. But a king on the flop, 3 of a kind for James.
That should just about do it for Ben here. He needs a running straight to survive this pot.
He's a long shot.
Terry pushing off.
Going to the turn. It's an 8, it's
Hey,
over.
Ben, nice playing with you, man.
Look at that, 9 on the river.
A harmless 9 at this point, so unfortunately we lose Bin Wang in 5th place. A nice run here for the restaurant owner. Comes to a close, though.
Absolutely nothing you can do. Bin Wang out. Let's see what he has to say.
Oh, it's quite excited, and I don't think I played it correct on the last hand. I'm still thinking about it.
I think you're chip leader now.
The newest real money online poker room is here, and it's called WPT Global. Join the world's largest poker network with games running 24/7 with buy-in levels to suit all bankrolls. We've got tons of cash games at all stakes and tournaments every day with huge prize pools. Sign up today with this QR code and use bonus code YT85 and we'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar.
That's good to know. I gotta remember exactly what I did then. You know? Yeah, you got. How much you got?
I don't know. Too many to count.
I think I got 20.
20, geez, I'm here with lowly single-digit millions.
Yeah, you'll run it. You'll run it back up.
Hey, man, you just talk to me. If you want to feel better about yourself, you can just have a little conversation.
It's a good ladder up, man.
Yeah, so far so good, as planned. Just like I planned.
And the whole table becomes very chipper and happy. Blinds are still 75, 150 with a big blind ante of 150. Couple folds into Brian with nothing.
Thank you. Thank you. Want to see it?
Sure.
So a quick win for Nathan Russler.
Couldn't beat that.
I got 19.
Was in bad shape.
I knew you were a nice guy, Brian. Deep down. Deep down.
I give walks. Sometimes.
What, your dog?
Yeah.
See, when they lose a player, everyone becomes really nice at the table.
For a moment.
All the dreams alive, all the possibilities. Okay, we got a fold by VRAB, and now Brian,
300.
and he makes it 300 to go. Gets Nathan to go out. James Anderson with a king 4.
Look at this, Vince. We talked earlier about the type of hands to use in the big blind as a 3-bet bluff, and that they should mostly be centered around offsuit low kings, offsuit low aces, and James selecting king 4 offsuit to make this play puts a lot of pressure on Brian's queen 9 suited on the button. I think without ICM in play, that is the incentive that's created to try and ladder up, Brian would call here, but with that applying extra pressure to him, James will get away with one.
James living in Pittsburgh, 35 years old. Now, he came in 2nd place in this very tournament, season 11, 8 years ago. Picked up 438 that day. Got 5 WPT cashes, 2 final tables. Brian goes out. Nathan with ace-7 of diamonds. Makes it 300. James Mucks, VRAB.
$900,000.
Will make it 900,000 with king high.
Back-to-back hands with the big blind using a low offsuit king as their bluff. VRAB and James studying the same poker strategy. What's Nathan gonna do? He's gonna go all in, Vince. This is a little surprising. Nathan widening his range pre-flop to attack VRAB's aggression, comes over the top, takes it down pre-flop. Nice hand there from our short stack.
High level of poker. We're coming back. Stay with us on the World Poker Tour.
James will open our action to 3 1/4 with ace-8.
VRAB now with a seductive little 5-6 of hearts. Will make this call. And now Brian Altman with an ace-7 looks curious about this.
Huh.
No?
A little surprised to see Brian fold there. He's definitely been cautious out of the big blind in three-way pots tonight.
Check.
Flops a 10-5 deuce. VRAB in front with that flop with the fives. There you go, check, check. Turn card A6, so that's beautiful for VRAB.
1.2.
So VRAB will bet this 1.2.
Once again, I love VRAB sizing here. He shouldn't have that many strong hands, so his range is polarized between really strong hands and bluffing hands. So using a large bet sizing is exactly what we want to do when our range is polarized, and VRAB takes that one down.
But he just chased away his opponent, who only had ace high, so maybe you should have cut down that bet and get him in. Easy when we see the cards, isn't it?
Very.
I know. And we have James with Jack 4 spades folding, VRAB also folding, and now Brian with ace 7.
475.
He's been running red hot lately. That is Brian Altman. Let's see what happens here. He's up against ace 6. And the flop's a king deuce deuce.
Nice board for the pre-flop razor here.
300.
Brian will follow through with a C-bet of 300,000. And not that scary a board for Nathan. He expects Brian to bet near 100% here, so he's not going to fold his ace. And with that king on the turn, these two players are likely to chop it up if nobody folds. So over to Nathan. He's going to cut out a little value bet here. Seems to think that his ace high is likely good, so he bets it for a mix of value and protection to make sure that Brian doesn't get a free look at 6 outs on the river.
You notice when Brian brings up his hand to check or bet, he has a fist. You know that he holds a marble in his hand?
No. Don't make stuff up, Vince.
I had to.
I was gonna say, where's he gonna find a marble?
He checks again.
You're losing your marbles over there.
They
That's
both
what's happening.
check. And they're gonna chop this pot up. It would be funny though if he had a little marble in his hand, right?
Maybe in like a crucial moment during the hand, he could just roll it at his opponent.
Turn.
Really just throw him a curveball.
You had me.
It's a reasonable outcome.
I'm all right with it.
James Anderson, 21 million.
VRAB Zakarian still sitting pretty, 18 million.
And let's go to the felt. VRAB with a king jack. And he will raise.
Oh, Nathan
I'm sorry.
folding out a turn
I
there.
don't know what you want to do, but
Brian still had his cards.
You're good.
sorry about that, guys.
There we go. Brian's out, now Nathan's out, and James will call queen 6 of diamonds, so heads up between our two chip leaders. Jack, 9-10 on the flop. Top pair, the king kicker for VRAB, so a strong hand with a redraw.
600,000.
James, the open-ender and a backdoor flush draw. Has plenty of equity here. And I like that VRAB has sized up on this coordinated board. Still, James will come along for 600,000.
Let's see if James can hit his straight here. No, it's a 4 of clubs. And he will check it into VRAB, who has top pair, king kicker.
$1.8.
He's gonna make him pay for it. James can't compete anymore. He mucks his hand. VRAB will take that one down.
And with that, he will edge ever closer to recapturing the chip lead. And we see a look at the Mike Sexton Champions Cup and our payout, $674,000 up top tonight. Pretty good payday for a $3,500 buy-in.
Indeed, VRAB now going to fold his 10-6. Brian Altman now. Well, Brian's got a solid ace, 8 of spades. And he's checking out the stack of Nathan.
All in.
And he'll just say, I'll put you to the test, see if you have anything. Gonna make you pay in case you do, but he doesn't. 10-7, so Brian will take that one down.
Oh, wasn't it?
I was just. Oh yeah. I'm button.
Look at that. VRAB protecting Brian Altman's button.
Good catch.
I moved it, so.
It's probably worth like $3,000.
Says, hold on there a minute. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
I don't know. Maybe 2,800. I don't know.
Yeah. Over.
Somehow the Brian Altman crazy eyes missed that the dealer passed the button one hand too early.
VRAB picks up a beautiful pair of queens. Makes it 400,000 to go. Brian luckily gets out of the way. Nathan, though, with king jack of clubs.
Uh-oh. I think he may get all of Nathan's action.
On.
Yes, sir. Nathan sitting on 18 blinds here has no decision.
Call.
VRAB no decision of his own with queens. The instant call. And Nathan now drawing for his tournament life.
32-year-old out of San Antonio, Texas. On the ropes right now. Hopes to hit a king on the flop. King, queen, 6. So 3 of a kind there for VRAB. And, of course, kings there for Nathan.
A lot of sets today.
Nathan needs running full house or straight. Can he improve on the turn? No, and so we will lose Nathan Russler in 4th place here. Nice finish for a guy at his first WPT cash, but that's gonna be all there was tonight.
That's it for Nathan. He does pick up some money. Let's go down and talk to him.
It's really anybody's game. They're all great players. They're all very aggressive. They've all won tournaments, many tournaments. So I don't know. Whoever runs the best is gonna win this one for sure.
That was a nice job for Nathan. He came.
Yeah, he laddered really well. You know, he came in with like 35 blinds. Got a couple ladders. It's nice.
Probably play 3-handed for like 6 hours now.
It was quite a trip for our enlightened 4th place finisher Nathan Russler, who is taking home $250,000. Left to battle it out for the title are the 3 most experienced players at the table, including the current Ublo WPT Player of the Year, Brian Altman.